So you want to buy a hotel, find a building, hire the staff, watch the guests roll in. But here's the thing, the brand on the front door almost certainly doesn't own the building you're standing in, doesn't employ the person checking you in, and honestly doesn't want to. And by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly how that's possible, how a hotel actually makes money on the inside, why the loyalty program your points are sitting in is really a bank deal dressed up as a travel perk, and why the most expensive hotels on Earth often never earn back their construction costs from room revenue alone. Because a hotel isn't really what most people think it is. As of right now, Marriott operates an asset-light business model where they own very few hotels, less than 1% of their 9,400 plus locations. About 50 hotels, less than 1% of the system, are owned or leased directly by the company. 50 out of nearly 10,000. Hilton owns just 3% of its over 9,000 hotels worldwide, franchising the remaining 97%. These are two of the most recognized brands on the planet, and between them, they own almost nothing. So the first question you have to ask is, if they don't own the hotels, what exactly do they own? And the answer to that is the thing almost nobody talks about. I'll get to it. But first, let's start with the part that breaks most people's brains. When you walk into a Marriott, there are actually 3 or 4 completely different companies operating inside that building at the same time. The brand, Marriott, licenses the name. You're likely staying in a property owned by an investor, a real estate group, or even a local family business, not Marriott. Then, there's often a third-party management company that actually runs the hotel and employs the staff. So the receptionist smiling at you when you check in? She probably doesn't work for Marriott. She works for some management firm you've never heard of. When a hotel is franchised, the owner pays Marriott for the brand name, the reservation system, and the Marriott Bonvoy loyalty program, but the day-to-day staff and operations are handled by the franchisee. This structure exists because it works beautifully for everyone, especially for Marriott. By letting others own and operate hotels, Marriott transfers most of the financial and operational risks to franchisees. Whether real estate markets boom or bust, Marriott still earns predictable fees from every occupied room. This was a critical advantage during global downturns, like the 2008 financial crisis and the COVID-19 pandemic. While property owners faced losses, Marriott's balance sheet stayed relatively strong. They're essentially a brand and software company that happens to have hotels named after it. Now here's where it starts getting genuinely strange. In a normal franchise, you pay to use the brand. You pay McDonald's for the Golden Arches. You pay Subway for the Sandwich Playbook. But in hotels, there's a financial instrument that runs in the opposite direction. And most owners don't even know it exists until they're deep in negotiations. It's called key money. Key money is a cash payment that the hotel brand makes to the owner to secure a long-term management or franchise agreement. The brand pays the owner, not the other way around. It's effectively a signing bonus, typically somewhere between 3 and 7% of total project costs, or around $5,000 to $20,000 per room. On trophy properties, that can run into the millions, and it amortizes like a forgivable loan over the contract term, which means the longer you stay with the brand, the more of it you keep. So the owner gets paid to hang the flag, and in exchange, the brand locks in a long-term contract that keeps their name on the building, their system processing the bookings, and their loyalty program capturing the guests. Which brings us to the loyalty program, and this is the part that is genuinely wild. You think the loyalty program exists to reward you. It does, sort of, but the real customer of the loyalty program isn't you. It's your bank. Here's how it actually works. Marriott Bonvoy now has more than 271 million members. It's the largest loyalty program in the hospitality sector. Every time one of those members earns points on a co-branded credit card, the issuing bank pays Marriott a fixed cash value for every point accumulated. The bank is buying those points in bulk, upfront, in cash. So before you've even stepped foot in a hotel, Marriott has already been paid. And when you do eventually redeem those points for a free night, the hotel group reimburses the actual property only a fraction of the real room rate. There are documented cases, like the Marriott Kigali, where a 16,000-point night that was selling for $160 on the open market was reimbursed to the hotel for around $42. The brand already collected from the bank. the hotel gets a fraction, and the guest thinks they got a deal. It's the exact same trick the airlines run with miles, which, if you want to go deep on that one, I've got a whole video on the economics of airlines that goes into the same mechanics. Link is on screen. But here's the part that makes the loyalty liability even more interesting. Marriott and Hilton together owe nearly $7 billion in unredeemed points sitting on their books. Marriott around $4 billion, Hilton roughly $2.9 billion. 7 major hotel groups combined owe approximately $11.6 billion in points that members have earned and never used. In accounting terms, that's a liability. But in practice, every point that expires unused is pure profit. The industry even has a name for it: breakage. The business model actually improves the more you forget to redeem. Your largest debt is the one you profit from the moment your customer does nothing. And remember, I told you, there was one thing almost nobody realizes. We're getting close. Stay with me. Now let's talk about how you actually get customers into the building, because this is where the money gets eaten alive. OTA commission rates now average between 15 and 30%. To illustrate, if an OTA charges 20% commission on a $200 room, the hotel pays $40 for that single booking every night. And the marketing machine behind this is almost incomprehensible in scale. Expedia spent $165 billion in Q1 2024 alone on advertising. The 4 largest OTAs collectively spent a record $17.8 billion on sales and marketing in 2024. Hotels simply cannot outspend that. They can't even come close. But here's the twist that most hotel owners miss. The original research found that hotels listed on Expedia saw a 7.5% to 26% increase in non-OTA reservations simply from being visible on the platform. A later expanded study found that for each reservation a hotel receives at Expedia, the individual brand website receives between 3 and 9 additional reservations. So the OTA is simultaneously taking a cut of your revenue and acting as a billboard that drives customers to book directly with you. It's a genuinely uncomfortable relationship. You're paying them to compete with you, and it still kind of works. Now, the thing almost nobody realizes, the thing I mentioned at the start. Luxury hotels, the big trophy properties, often never earn back their construction costs through room revenue alone. And the reason why tells you everything about how these deals actually work. The real financing engine behind many of the world's most expensive hotels is the branded residence. A branded residence is essentially a luxury apartment or condo inside or attached to a hotel, sold to private buyers who want the Ritz-Carlton or St. Regis name on their front door. And according to the Savills 2025-26 report, buyers pay a global average premium of 33% just for that brand association, rising to 39% in resort destinations and as high as 54% in emerging markets. You're paying a third more for the same square footage because the name is on the building. But here's the kicker. Those pre-sales happen before construction is finished, sometimes before the first shovel hits the ground. The Phase 1 pre-sales at the St. Regis residences in Sunny Isles reportedly generated around $1 billion, with deposits running around 50%. That's $500 million in deposits financing a project before a single room has been built. The condos aren't a side business, they are the financing vehicle. The hotel is almost the amenity that justifies the price of the apartments, which leads directly into how buyers actually value a hotel, because it's nothing like how you'd value a house or an office building. A hotel isn't valued per square meter. It's valued by capitalizing its future income stream, a metric called the cap rate. You take the net operating income, divide it by the cap rate, and that gives you the value. Same logic as valuing an oil well or a cemetery. It's worth what it will produce, not what it cost to build. And that math often means a luxury trophy hotel on paper is worth less than it cost to construct. The room revenue alone can't justify the price tag. The value is in the brand, the residences, the destination it creates around itself. And then, just when you think you understand the economics, the brand hands you a renovation bill. When an owner joins a major hotel brand, or renews their agreement, the brand issues what's called a Property Improvement Plan, or PIP. It's a mandatory list of renovations the owner must complete to stay in the system. We're talking multi-million-dollar upgrades to lobbies, rooms, fitness centers, everything. On top of that, owners are typically required to set aside around 4 to 5% of revenue every year into a furniture, fixtures, and equipment reserve, money that can only be spent on brand-approved upgrades. The owner built the building, bought the land, and signed the contract, and they still don't fully control their own capital expenditures. The brand can tell them to spend millions, and they have to comply or lose the flag. So when you put all of this together, what you actually have is one of the most operationally complex assets in real estate. And the reason it works the way it does comes down to one fundamental truth. A hotel is the shortest-term lease on Earth. An office building locks in a tenant for 5 or 10 years. A hotel signs a brand new lease with a stranger every single night, hundreds of them, and every morning, the revenue resets to zero. That's why hotel real estate collapses faster than anything else in a recession, and recovers faster too. When occupancy drops, the fixed costs don't move. Staff, utilities, debt service, all of it keeps running whether the rooms are full or empty. So a hotel will discount aggressively before it goes dark because the marginal cost of cleaning one more room is small, but an empty room earns nothing. The brand doesn't own the building. The management company employs the staff. The bank is the real loyalty customer. The apartments are the real financing. And the room revenue is almost the least interesting part of the whole thing. If this kind of behind-the-scenes economics is your thing, drop a comment with the word hotel and let me know which part surprised you most. It genuinely helps the channel figure out what to make next. And if you want to see the same breakdown done on airlines, because the miles business is the exact same trick, just with seats instead of rooms. That video is right here. Watch it next.